I'm here with a public service announcement to remind y'all that we do not need a straight pride parade. What is up, girlies? I hope that you guys are safe. I know that Hurricane Dorian is out there twirling around and causing destruction, so I hope that you guys who are in the area can find some type of safety, evacuate, do what y'all need to do. Make sure that you go into my Patreon, patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Every Tuesday we hold votes over there on the type of content that I will be releasing, so check it out if that's something that you're interested in. I just wanted to come up here really quickly and make a video about this whole straight pride parade thing that happened in Boston. You know, I'm coming off of the weekend, it's Labor Day weekend, and in Atlanta that's like Black Pride. So I mean, I was at these clubs, I was watching these J-setters turn the fuck up and turn it out, getting my entire life, enjoying my time with the LGBT community, the Black LGBT community. It was great. I met a bunch of people. I wasn't able to meet everyone that I wanted to because a lot of people, when they came in town, they hit me up like, what's up, Adrian? Like, I'm trying to chill. But overall, it was such an amazing experience. So I'm coming off of that. But then on August 31st, they had this whole Boston straight pride parade. Now, when we hear these types of things, we already know what that means. We already know what they mean by that. We know that the Trump supporters are going to be out there. We know that the alt-right is going to be out there. I can show you some pictures of what was going on at this parade. A lot of this shit was not fun. It was not cute. Apparently over 30 arrests happened during that time. Now, I'm reading from the Huffington Post. The rally was organized by Super Fun Happy America, a group which, according to its website, advocates on behalf of the straight community. I don't know why the straight community needs any type of advocate when they control all of the economy, when they control the globe, when they control the law. You're not oppressed. I'm not sure who lied to y'all faces, but there's absolutely, okay, wait, let me just keep reading. So yes, according to its website, advocates on behalf of the straight community, which they believe are an oppressed majority. Oh my God, I can't believe I just read this. Oppressed majority. How are you a majority? How are you the dominant group but oppressed at the same time? Like, how do you hold all the power and you're oppressed? I don't understand that shit. This is what they said. This is what John Hugo, which is a group's president, this is what he said on the website. The day will come when straights will finally be included as equals among all of the other orientations. City of Boston officials approved the group's application to host the event in June, but denied their request to raise the straight pride flag at City Hall Plaza. So yeah, the quotes that really got me were the fact that they refer to themselves as an oppressed majority, and the fact that they think that, what is it, the day will come when straights will finally be included as equals among other orientations. There's a lot of things going on here, but the first thing is the fact that for centuries, for eons, the LGBT community did not have a strong voice. They did not have a loud voice. They did not have a voice that people bothered to, you know, give a fuck to listen to. So now that we are finally, now that the LGBT community has finally found avenues to make their grievances known, to make their oppression known, to make, you know, to really complain about their place in this society. This specific group in general, of course not all straight people are doing this, but you know, this alt-right Trump supporting ass bullshit, these types of people are upset not at the fact that they feel oppressed, because there's no way that you as a straight person can feel oppressed in this society because you are straight. There are other factors. Your heterosexuality does not hinder you from doing anything in this society. So it's not that they feel oppressed, it's just the fact that they feel another voice, they feel other voices being elevated, and they're used to being the only ones having a say-so in anything that goes on in this society. So when other people are allowed to, or when they finally have gained enough power to at least demand that they be listened to, that makes them feel uncomfortable. That's just like, what the hell is going on? I'm used to being the one making all the rules around here. What the fuck do y'all think y'all coming over here? You want power too? You want respect too? What's going on? I want to go back to the good old days. That's why these slogans like Make America Great Again, it sticks so well, because they want to go back to the days when people just took their oppression and shut the fuck up and sat down. It's just like, no, we might be oppressed. We might be feeling a little bit of pressure from y'all in society. We might be getting run over and have our jobs taken away. away from us and being kicked out of our homes. But we're not just going to sit down and shut the fuck up. We're not just going to sit down and take it. We're not going to be silent while it's happening. You might be able to bulldoze us because of the power that you have, but you're going to hear our mouths. You know what I mean? And so that makes them feel uncomfortable. They don't know what to do with it. You already know what type of parade this is. If you have all these people talking about build a wall, all this bullshit, you already know what that is. Now, I was happy to see that the mayor of Boston, Mayor Marty Walsh, had this to say about the whole straight pride parade, and I hate even calling it that. This weekend, I'm celebrating what makes our city so great, our people, by attending neighborhood block parties, visiting farmers markets and barbecues, and celebrating safe neighborhoods. I invite all residents of Boston to join me in doing the same. As I've said, Straight Pride Parade won't overshadow the tremendous role Boston plays in the national movement for equality. We will continue to be a leader in the fight for civil rights. So I was happy to see that there's people, also AOC went up there and said something about it. I'm happy to see that these officials in government aren't just sitting down and allowing these people to just do this shit without them saying anything about it. I think they can't really stop these people from assembling and saying what they have to say, because that would infringe upon free speech rights and all of that. To act like people who are in charge of this society are oppressed and need some type of parade or need some type of advocacy or need some type of support when they're the ones preventing other communities and minorities from getting support in the first place is actually really preposterous and also offensive. And the other thing that they like to do is just to pretend like they are not just a bunch of racists and homophobes gathering around to circle jerk. That's just what they love to pretend like, oh, well, you know, it's not a hate group. We're just assembling together and we have a message to spread. What is that message? It's just like, y'all have the power already. Stop acting like, you know, us saying we're tired of getting stepped on is infringing upon anything that you have going on. Like, what are you talking about? So I thought this was interesting. Don Grundman, and I'm reading this from NBC News, he's the man behind a planned August 24th Straight Pride rally in Modesto, California, right? This is what, listen to what he said.
To justify attacks against us in that part, and when they come, you're going to turn right around and say, oh, we deserved it. We haven't done anything. We're a totally peaceful racist group.
So yeah, he was in front of City Council. He was in front of the Modesto, California City Council, and he was basically trying to defend their rally, their Straight Pride rally, and it came out of his mouth, I guess accidentally. We're a totally peaceful racist group. He couldn't even help himself, and the people around him just started fucking laughing because they knew how preposterous, they knew how crazy he already sounded. But the fact that he accidentally slipped up and said the truth just shows you exactly what the hell we're talking about. It was just subconscious. He couldn't even help himself. We're a totally peaceful, there's no such thing as a totally peaceful racist group. They want our asses out of here. There's no such thing as a totally peaceful homophobic group. They want our asses out of here. That's just on period. I just thought that shit was crazy. So yeah, honestly, it was just really upsetting because, like I said, Labor Day weekend, we had Black Pride in Atlanta. You know, we had this good energy, and then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wow, these crazy assholes in Boston, and it's just going to happen more and more and more. As minorities start to we're gaining a voice. We're gaining the ability to navigate these situations. We're gaining the ability to rise up in government. We're gaining the ability to change some of these fucked up ass policies that have been affecting us for so long, you know what I mean? And have been negatively affecting our communities. We're gaining the ability to protect ourselves. As minorities rise up and finally say, you know what, let's stop this shit, find other ways to do certain things. The people who are the majority, but you know, there's a specific section of the majority, the ones who are afraid of differences. They're afraid of change, and they're afraid of sharing power that they've hoarded for centuries, for eons. Those specific people who don't have a sense of self, those specific people who hate themselves so much that they don't know what else to do but to project that onto everyone else who looks differently or who has a different way of going through life, those people are going to get scared. And if you would just open your mind and open your heart, you would understand that, wow, there's so much that I can learn from these different communities, from these different minorities. And honestly, when you sit down and listen to the struggles that different minority groups have had to deal with, and the way that they've pulled themselves through life in different eras while the whole world has tried to suppress them, if you really sat and listened to them, there's nothing else that you could do but be inspired, right? So instead of opening their fucking hearts, they want to shit on you. That's exactly what they want to do. But like I said, we're not just going to sit here and listen to it and without having anything to say about it. And that is what really gets people angry. They're used to the old days where you just shut up. And even if you wanted to to say something, you couldn't for fear of getting your life taken or whatever. And still that fear is still exists today, but we have eroded the boot that has been on our neck. We've eroded it a little bit. It's still there, but they want to maintain that stringent control over these minority groups that they feel honestly should not exist in the first place. So I like the fact that they had this whole counter protest going on while the straight pride parade was going on in Boston. They had it. Now, like I said, there were 30 arrests that happened, and I'm always scared for these counter protesters. The counter protest was called Fight Supremacy, Hands Off Our Pride. And it's just, like I said, it's such a slap in the face for us to be, for the LGBT community to have been excluded, to have been discriminated against. People have been killed. Members, like I said, have been kicked out of their own families' homes, living on the street. Everyone loves the TV show Pose so much, but it tells a story of people who have been kicked out of their homes, who have been ostracized by society, and have had to come and gather together and create houses and homes of their own. And you know, ballroom scene is wonderful and cute, but the flip side of that is the demonization and discrimination and exclusion that people have had to, the LGBT people have had to face. It's such a slap in the face for us to have had to create these spaces like Pride, Pride parades, Pride rallies, out of necessity to empower ourselves. LGBT communities suffer from mental illness, PTSD. We're talking about depression, anxiety, suicidal inclinations. We have had to create these safe spaces out of necessity for our survival, and here come straight people talking about straight pride. What the fuck do you need that for? You have been accepted because y'all, you own everything. You own everything. Like, don't take the sacred safe spaces that we have created for ourselves because we've had to, and then flip it on its head and make it something ugly and nasty, okay? That's all I have to say on that situation. You alt-right, crazy ass, you know, bigoted motherfuckers can kiss my black ass. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that everyone except homophobic people go ahead and have a good goddamn evening.